Last 9.
The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Suckling on the teat of tech.
With Paul Brislen.
Yeah, he likes to talk high tech about this time of the week. G'day there, Paul.
Good morning, how are you?
Good. Twitter.com/Paul Brislen. Today we're talking about the smartphone wars. They've certainly been heating up over the last few weeks.
Smartphone wars, yes. Some new research out of the US says that Android is driving hard, and Android is, of course, Google's mobile phone operating system. Come charging up the ranks in the last little while. Nokia is still at the top with Symbian, 40-odd% of the smartphone market. But of course, nobody talks about Nokia anymore. They all talk about Apple.
Yeah.
And Apple's in there at number 3, still tucked in behind BlackBerry, but it seems to be the one that's driving and leading the market these days.
Well, hang on, what's this one called? Research in Motion,
That's RIM. That is BlackBerry's parent company. So everybody talks about BlackBerries, and they're made by a Canadian company called RIM.
Okay, so Nokia at the top there with Symbian, BlackBerry second, then iPhone, then Android.
That's right. And everybody talks about the iPhone and the Android like they're the only game in town, which upsets Nokia no end, quite rightly, because they're still 40-odd% of the market.
Yeah.
They've been in the market for 10 years. They had the Communicator was the first one out. Back in the day, it was Nokia versus Microsoft, of course. Microsoft's the big loser in all of this. They've slipped back to 5th place and show no signs of anybody actually caring that they're in the market at all these days. So I think we can safely scratch them off for now, but you can never rule them out. I mean, Microsoft, if it's got the will throw a lot of money at this kind of thing. But it's
oddly enough, though, with Nokia being there at the top, you kind of consider them being the underdog, though, as well at the same time.
They are because they're not leading the market anymore. They might have, it's like the dinosaur with its head cut off. It hasn't noticed yet. It still thinks it's the number one game because it is the number one game. But that's rapidly changing, and I don't think Nokia's really caught up with the idea. Big corporates, it takes a while to change the ship of state. It's not a speedboat, it's an oil tanker. And if you want to change direction, it takes quite a bit of effort. But once they get going, with an embedded base like that, they can really start to do some good, I think.
Because they've just made their Symbian operating system open source.
That's right, and that is a very good move.
Yeah, so anyone can develop for it.
Anybody can develop for it, and the danger with that is that there's already one of those, and that's Android. And Google's got the advantage of being the sexy, funky, young brand, whereas Nokia, of course, is your granddad's cell phone. So at this stage, it's good for one group of people, the customers, the users, folk like you and me who want to get more out of our phones and take our data with us and do stuff with it, and hopefully having a bit of a tussle like this going on means we'll get some really good price points and some really good phones and some really good applications running on them.
We should just step back here and say not that you're actually pushing a product here, but you do have the Vodafone harness slightly on.
I am pro cell phones and smartphones.
Yeah.
But
aren't we all?
Yeah. So there is that to take into account. Yes, can't let that slide by.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll talk about Symbian and the Windows mobile operating system there. But the real battle, as you say, is going to happen and is happening between Google and Apple.
And that is going to be very interesting. Google has recently overtaken Apple in terms of sales in the US. Now, a lot of that is, there are two driving forces behind that. First of all, there's only one Apple phone really in the market. It's the iPhone. There's only one product using the Apple OS, and that is the iPhone. So that limits its reach. But secondly, in the US, whereas for Google, they're letting anybody who wants to develop for it. So you've got the HTC, you've got Sony Ericsson, you've got Motorola's having a look at it. All of the big name players and quite a few of the smaller players are building handsets. So just for sheer volume, Google's onto a winner there.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, of course, that in the States, AT&T has a lock on the iPhone. Nobody else can sell the iPhone, and Android is busy pushing out phones to other cell phone companies that really want to get into this market, but can't sell the iPhone. So all of a sudden, there's this huge push to buy an alternate, and that's really driving the sales in the US market.
And there's now this talk of Google TV going on as well.
Well, yes. Now, this is very entertaining as well. Apple, of course, has had Apple TV for a little while. Google has said just overnight that it's launching its own version of this, which is it's taking a slightly different approach, which is at the moment you can watch TV on your laptop, but it's not a good experience. You can watch web content on your television, but it's not a good experience. Let's bring it all together and have an experience that's like the internet, but on your television set.
Okay.
So you use Google to search. It's using a set-top box, from what I've read, that allows you to connect your television to the internet and then use Google to search for content.
That they will sell?
I imagine there will be ticket clipping going on in there somewhere. At the moment, of course, being Google, they're just talking about giving you access to stuff. So it is, if you like, Google indexing all of the TV content all the video content from around the world and then making it available to you via your television, if you're an American. At the moment, it's US only, of course, because the World Wide Web only
exists over there,
covers the 50 states, and that's it. So, eventually, if they do get their act together and do it worldwide, what they're doing is building a brand new distribution model for video content on the internet, which you don't watch on your laptop or your mobile phone. You can if you want, but you can also watch it on your television. That's got to put the fear of God into some of the network executives around the world who still seem to think that the internet is just about America's funniest home videos and amusing clips of what my cat did.
Yeah.
And they seem to have not yet noticed properly that nobody watches television on the television anymore.
This is the stuff.
There's quite a bit going on the laptop.
This is stuff obviously I find exciting, but with this show going out via live video stream every morning and then on demand on YouTube later on,
exactly.
if there was if it could become an alternative to watching god-awful breakfast TV in the morning,
exactly,
then
I'd
all the better.
I tell you, I'd watch it.
I mean, if
it
it was easy,
breakfast, of course.
But that's the thing, if it was easy, I mean, you can do it on your computer, that's easy, but if it was easy on the TV.
On the television, and that is the beauty of this thing, because they're also talking about integrating it. So the next problem, of course, is the television needs a remote control that works, and TV remote controls are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I really don't like them, and I don't want to be sitting there in my lounge using a wireless keyboard trying to watch the television. So I'm going to use my phone. I'm going to use my Android phone to control the TV channels that I'm looking for. So I'll surf for it on my phone, I'll find the stuff that I want, and then play it on the television.
Marvellous.
Now that's really quite cool. I could get into that. I could actually see my wife doing that, which is really, let's face it, the wife acceptance factor is really quite a major factor.
Oh, it is. We joke about it, but that's key, isn't it? So that's
it really is. It's usability. It's people. I say it to my wife. She's actually quite tech savvy. It's people who don't care about the technology, who just want to watch television.
Yeah.
That's your market, and that's quite a different proposition to the likes of you and me who'll go and kick the tires on just about anything they roll out because it's new and it's cool and we want to have a play.
Yeah.
So, yes, exciting times in the world of Google.
Indeed, very exciting. Paul Brislen, thanks so much for informing us on it this morning.
Anytime.
And you can continue the conversation with Paul on Twitter, twitter.com/Paul Brislen.